You know what I've noticed as a card counter is that it's really, really annoying to buy insurance when you're betting a weird number like 125 or 175, and the dealer has to make change for you, and they have no idea what they're doing because apparently it seems like dealers have never been trained on the insurance bet. Ugh. Like, can anybody relate to that? Like, if you're betting $175 or 125, they don't know what the hell they're doing, especially if you're playing two hands. You just put your bet out there. You're like, I'm betting 175. I want to take insurance for both bets. I'm betting two spots 175. Insurance pays 2-1. You don't have to split it up and then break down a $25 chip into, you know, you just don't have to split it up. So what they end up doing, instead of just checking to see if they have blackjack, it's a separate bet and it pays 2-1. So you would break even. It's pretty simple, really. It just slows the game down and pisses me off. Um, it makes no sense. Think about it. So you have two hands of 175. Your insurance bet's going to be 175. So that way, if the dealer has blackjack, you break even. You don't lose any chips. You don't win any chips. And if the dealer doesn't have blackjack, they take the $175 insurance bet. But no, they have to slow the game down, and they have to break down the bet and split up a $25 chip so that you have exactly $87.50 on each insurance bet, which it just doesn't make any sense at all. And yeah, that drives me nuts because I had to do that like 4 times on the last shoe I played, and each time the dealer had no idea what he was doing, and each time he did not have blackjack. So super annoying. And yeah, jeez. Yeah, so super annoying. Same dealer mispays me on I had a $75 bet, all red chips, right? So I got like a barrel this big, and he breaks it down into 2 stacks of 6, right? And then 3 red chips on the side. So he thinks I have a $65 bet out there. I watched him pay it, and then I left the money out there. I was like, hey, that's not right. And I broke it down. I showed it to him. I explained it to him. He just was not agreeing with me. And we didn't have to call over the floor. The floor was kind of right there. And I was explaining it. And I was like, listen, it's only a $10 difference. Like, I don't want to make a huge deal out of it. Although in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, like, that's actually a fair amount of money, like EV wise. So it is kind of annoying. And so I'm telling the guy, I'm like, listen, like, I'm not trying to be an asshole. I'm telling you, you're wrong. And if you don't want to give me the $10, it's not a big deal. Like, we don't have to call surveillance and make a huge deal out of it. But he was still arguing with me. And I was like, go ahead, you want to pull the paddle? Pull the paddle. And we can call surveillance. And and the floor was like, just give him the $10. Give him the $10. He knew I was talking about when I said pull the paddle. And he knew that I probably knew exactly what I was doing. And so they didn't call surveillance or anything, didn't make a big deal out of it. I got my $10, so that was cool. I thought that was funny, though. They didn't even call surveillance over it. They just give him his $10. Guess it's not really a big deal at this place. So, you know what I mean, though? Like, I try to tell him, like, it's hard enough to win in this place, and you're just going to take another $10 from me. It's just really annoying. And I know it was an accident, but, like, I know you're wrong. You know what I mean? Like, I always make sure before I pull the money back, if it's like a weird looking payout, or like you have like red and green chips, or like a huge stack of red, you just want to make sure that you're right, because like your edge is so thin that like if you're missing anything, you can lose your edge pretty easily. So all right, so I'm not going to try to pronounce this guy's YouTube name, but it's all random numbers and letters anyway. So but he asks, do you practice different deviations for double deck versus shoe games, or do you like to keep it simple? I like to keep it simple. I use the same deviations, the same count, and everything for both double deck and shoe games. There was another part to that question. Do you do anything else to stay sane? I think I've answered this question before. Yeah, I like to play disc golf. That's probably my favorite hobby. I like to play poker, but that's like kind of starting to turn into a job too now. And let's see what else. That's pretty much it. I really enjoy the drives, the long drives through the middle of nowhere. That's like yeah, that's like church to me. I definitely enjoy the travel. Which is I know some people hate driving like that. It does get old. If it's a long enough drive, like sometimes you're just dying to get out of the car. But overall, I really like once I do get backed off from a place and I have to make a long drive or something like that. It's like it's nice to be on the road again, you know. So all right, let's see what else we got here. Animators POV asks what what true count causes your max bet? Um, it depends on the game, I guess, but I'd say like anywhere from a true 5 to true 7, and it depends on my spread too. I mean, all the games are different. And he asks what my max bet is. Again, that changes. It just depends on the size of my bankroll at the time, and the game, the rules of the game, and just whatever the output on the simulation is, like the absolute most optimal amount, you know? So, and if you want me to be more specific, which I'm assuming you do, um, the place I'm playing here now is my max bet is 2 by 175, and I have about right now. Right now, I have about a $30,000 bankroll. So, not huge for a full timer, but yeah, cost of being on the road, it gets expensive. So, um, and I'm also putting money aside so that I can get a new car. So yeah, that's like just enough to survive off of like bankroll size wise and everything. And will you play 3 or 4 spots was the other part of that question. And the answer to that is no. And here's why. You're really not accomplishing anything more by putting extra spots on the table. Like, I mean, you know, you want to play 2 hands if the count's really high and you're towards the end of the shoe, but any more than that is how do I explain this? You're just like taking cards from yourself in a way, and you just the only time you want to play more than 2 hands is if table max is restricting you from getting the amount of money out there that you want to have out there. So does that make sense? So let's say table max is 500 and you want to bet a total of $2,000. Well, 2 spots is only going to let you bet 1,000. So you'd play 4 spots to get $2,000 on the table. So there you go. Oh, and that picture right there, it's a little blurry. I had to like be discreet and try to be quick, so I got kind of a blurry shot. But that guy took 6 straight deuces. And the card before that, I think was like, I don't know, I think you can tell if you look at the photo, but it was something else. But the card before that was yet another deuce. So he took 7 deuces in 8 cards and took 6 in a row. So I've definitely never seen that before, and I've been playing for a long time. That was pretty crazy. That's going to do it for now, guys. I also wanted to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. It's getting to be that time. And yeah, we'll talk again soon.